reply to it.
Jirou, don't think about it too much.
I did a fucking photo shoot just for one fucking reply to that tweet? How can I not think about it? He probably doesn't even care about me.
Okay, listen here. You need to calm down. I hate seeing you this stressed out, especially when you've never shown interest in anyone. So stop worrying, and help me make some popcorn. We're going to watch a movie.
Only if it has action in it.
Fine.
Thanks, Mama.
Anything for my babies. Maybe I can talk to Shoto, see if Kami said anything to him about you. That way you don't think this is one way.
Okay, but make sure Todoroki is alone when you ask him. That way Kami doesn't think I'm desperate.
Kyoka, you are.
Jirou waved to Yaoyorozu before closing their dorm room. With her guitar in hand, she began to walk down the hall. Band was always a fun time, especially when Tokoyami wanted to practice. He was insane on the guitar, but a lot of the times he would be his depressed self and just play some dragged out chords. Today was different, however. He had a piece in mind that he wanted the group to try out. Jirou knew this would be fun.
Kyoka!
A loud voice called from behind her. Jirou turned her head to see a beautiful, dumb blonde sprinting to her location. Kaminari's hair was flowing behind him and stood up again as he slowed his pace and made his way closer to her. He was bent over, breathing heavily and sweating down his forehead.
Did you just run a marathon?
Jirou joked. She could see the smile form on Kami's face as he lifted his head to meet her eyes. They did have a sparkle. Momo was right.
Oh, hey! Sorry, I was just passing by and...
You were sprinting down the hall, screaming my name for all the others to hear, just to pass by me?
Kyoka cut him off with a sly smirk. She dropped her guitar on the floor and crossed her arms. If he really did like her like Momo said he did, Jirou would make him work for it.
No, sorry.
Kami was now sweating more than before he was running. Jirou took a quick glance at his hands. They were sparking slightly, making her blush a little more.
Where are you going?
He asked.
Band practice?
Jirou said, picking up her guitar, the smirk still stuck on her face. At this point, she didn't know whether she was using it to make Kami squirm a little, or if she genuinely couldn't stop smiling at how hot he was. He had a yellow sweater with a black lightning bolt on it and baggy beige shorts. Kyoka could feel her body melt.
I'll walk you there.
Kami quickly replied, smiling like a giddy idiot. His hands were crammed in his sweater pockets, and his head was dropped slightly, hiding the obvious sheet of pink in his cheeks. Jirou punched him in the shoulder lightly, and Kami simply stuck out his tongue at her. They joked and chatted while they made their way to the music room.
So, what are you doing next week?
Jirou asked. She was tired of waiting for him.
Oh, that's actually why I'm here.
They reached the music room, Kami leaning against the wall.
Me and Shoto are going to the extra study session so Momo can help us. Well, mostly me. Shoto is just going to be with his girl. I was wondering if you'd like to join me. Us! Join us!
Jirou walked towards the door and placed her guitar inside. She looked at Kami and gave him a sweet smile.
I'd love to go with you,
she said, her face quickly heating up. Kami's did the same as he let out a massive held-in breath.
Awesome! I'll see you then!
Kami walked away from the music room before turning his head back.
And, by the way, that photo shoot. You look cute.
He held up his fingers in a peace sign before turning the corner. Jirou's jaw dropped as she turned towards the music room, slamming the door behind her. She let out the girliest screech she had ever heard herself make and began laughing. He worked himself up the whole time, only to say something like that. He was amazing.
Whose music
do I hear? It sounds awesome. That would be the band. We're practicing a new song that Tokoyami liked. And I'm not gonna lie, not what I expected.
That earphone jack. Dark Shadow picked the song. It's not bad, right?
At Eternal Darkness? You bet. I just didn't expect you to like the style of stuff is all.
Ooh, mon ami. What is the song?
At Glamour, we ain't telling you shit.
At Glitter Glamour, what Kachan is trying to say is we're performing it after exams are done. Kind of like a concert. Oh, does that mean we have to wait until exams are over? At Uravity, we only have just under a month. Don't worry, it'll happen before you know it.
At Earphone Jack, is it a rap song? I'ma bust a move to that.
At Flex Tape. Dude, the last time you tried dancing was when Mina challenged you, and you face-planted into the splits. How does that happen?
At Flex Tape, you're gonna bust more than a move. Maybe your left nut.
At Pinky, bold of you to assume he has both nuts.
Hey, have both. Y'all need to calm your milk jugs.
I'm mildly scared.
At Brain Dead, you get used to it. Don't worry.
That was a pretty good first band session. Yeah, Kyoka?
Shinso? How do you get my number?
Stole your phone and put my own number. Anything wrong with that?
Maybe the idea of you stealing my phone? You literally could have asked, too.
Sorry. I'll ask next time I want to steal it.
Very funny. I'm glad you enjoyed the band. You're a pretty good bass player.
Glad you think so. That is my contact name on your phone after all.
Oh my god, it is. You're never getting my phone again.
It was clever at the time, okay? What are you up to next Wednesday? We should get together and practice again.
Normally, the band only practices on Sundays. Besides, I have a commitment already.
Oh, come on. You want to see Bass Boy lob it up to his name, right? It'll just be one time. That way we can catch up more.
I really can't, Shinso. Maybe another day?
Please.
Ugh, fine. Wednesday at 3.
Sounds like a plan.
I want ice cream.
At Pinky, then fucking get some. Stop whining.
At King Explosion Murder. I'm not whining. I'm just hungry.
At Pinky, I want ice cream too!
At Charge Chew at Pinky. I just checked the freezer and we're all out.
No!
Pinky, Shoto just made snow cones if you want to come over for one. The one good thing I can do with my quirk.
At Charge Chew. It's not the same.
At Frosty Flames. Show love. Your quirk is amazing. You can do so much with it. You're able to change Kami's mood and make him happy almost immediately. Making others happy is the best quirk of all. Don't forget it.
At Mama Momo, I'm coming to your room.
Show, is everything okay?
At Mama Momo, his shirt went up in flames. I think he needs cuddles.
At Charge Chew, she just grabbed like 5 blankets. I'm staying on my side of the room with headphones.
I still want ice cream.
Mina,
Hey, what's up, Carrie?
come to my dorm. Cat isn't here. Hurry.
Coming.
Mina left her room with small droplets of sweat dripping down her forehead. Kirishima had never asked her to come to his room before. Kat fell asleep around 8 to 8:30, so Kiri normally slept at the same time. He wasn't one to stay up late anyways, but here he was, texting Mina to meet her in his room at almost 9 o'clock. She tiptoed her way through the other dorm rooms to the second floor of the house. She's had a crush on that red-haired boy for a couple of months now. She never saw him in middle school as the attractive type, but then again, Mina never hanged around him much anyways. She was always too occupied with some of the bitchy girls trying to hit on the jocks. When she reached his room, Mina gave a small knock, not wanting to wake the other kids. There was no answer, so Mina knocked a little harder. She took a couple of steps back from the door to hear footsteps approaching from the other side. The door opened to reveal Kiri in a black muscle shirt and gray sweat.
Hey, come in, quickly.
He whispered, wavering her in with his hand. Kiri ushered her to sit down at the couch, and Mina did, squirming here and there. She couldn't help the excitement of being on her crush's couch. Then she gave herself a quick check in the TV screen. She was wearing a white crop top with black Nike shorts, a little revealing, but not overly slutty. She just wanted Kiri to look at her for once, the way he looked at new training exercises or workout routines. Eijiro rushed back into the living room with a big plastic bag in hand, almost tripping over a chair from the excitement. He sat on the couch with Mina, crossing his legs in front of him and placing the plastic bag in the middle of his lap.
Okay, I've never done this before, so you have to promise not to tell anyone. Understand?
He warned Mina. Mina gave a nod, feeling the heat move from her stomach to her cheeks. Were they really going to do it right here and now? She braced herself for whatever size packages he bought. Kirishima gave her a wink and pulled from the bag 2 tubs of ice cream.
I stole them from the kitchen as soon as I saw your tweet. Lunch rush wasn't there, so I took my time picking flavors. You can choose which one you like more.
Kiri couldn't stop smiling at his proud achievement, and Mina, absolutely stunned at her realization, leaped into Kirishima's arms without thinking.
This was better than sex any day of the week.
She thought, squeezing Eiji's waist.
Kiri, this is the nicest thing anyone's ever done for me.
She buried her head in his chest, feeling his heart beat faster and faster.
It's no problem. I'm glad you're happy,
He said, as a blush blew up his face. He hugged her back, around her open waist, enjoying every moment he could.
It worked! I got a hug! Progress!
He screamed in his mind. Mina let go and picked the chocolate chip cookie dough, as both of them laughed off the hug and Mina explained her craving. Kiri didn't quite understand what she meant by lady problems, and asked what girl he had to have a conversation with. Mina gave him a punch in the shoulder and fell over from laughter. By the time their tubs were finished, Mina was crawled up in Kirishima's lap, passed out from the amount of delicious sugar. Eiji knew he should have just brought her back to her dorm, but he couldn't help holding her as his eyes faded to black.
Red Riot, explain now.
At King Explosion Murder. Bro, calm down. Some of the girls have been giving her a hard time, so I stole ice cream to cheer her up, and we passed out from Sugar Rush.
At Red Riot. Kiri, for the last time, that's not what girl problems mean.
At Pinky, at Red Riot. So, you two had a sleepover without telling Kat?
We just fell asleep. That's all that happened.
At Pinky, to be fair, you did fall asleep in my lap? With your arms around me?
Eijiro Kirishima. Shut the fuck up!
Sorry.
How loud did you have to yell at them to get out at King Explosion Murder?
At Tadpole, I'm not a demon. I didn't say shit.
Let me get this straight. Mister, I'm gonna kill everyone and everything. Didn't say anything to the girl sleeping with Kirishima.
Ugh, fuck everyone and everything, period.
Kaminari and Todoroki made their way to the Common's living room. Yaoyorozu had already set up problems on the board, smiling as they made their way to the table. She was mostly looking forward to spending time with Shoto, but then again, Kami was just coming to be with Jirou, so it balanced out.
Hey boys, come sit down and we'll get started.
Momo pulled out 2 chairs for them and gave Todoroki a peck on the cheek. Shoto still wasn't used to it, so his shirt caught on fire a little, but was doused by his ice in a flash. Kami gave him a wink, which was returned by an eye roll. They had been studying for 30 minutes when Denki made the obvious statement.
Where's Jirou? She said she would be here.
Denki rested his head in his arms, putting on a pouting face. It was true that there were no distractions, and that because of it, Kami was getting quite a few questions right. But there was no way he'd be able to sit through another hour without something motivating him. Momo looked at him with a raised eyebrow, obviously confused.
She told me this morning she was going to the music room.
Momo explained.
Oh.
That was all Denki could say. She probably got nervous and switched plans so she didn't have to deal with him like she did when they were baking. He couldn't help feel an empty pit form in his stomach, slowly curdling his insides and making him feel queasy. Momo saw the pain on his face and tried explaining further to help Denki understand why.
She was going to practice with Shinso, get him used to being a member of the band, you know?
Momo said with a smile. She looked at Todoroki, who, to her surprise, looked just as conflicted as Kami did before. Except Kaminari looked as if he were about to puke now. He held his knees to his stomach, staring endlessly at the blank paper in front of him.
Momo, love, could you get me and Kami a glass of water?
Shoto said, brushing her hand softly.
Of course, dear.
Momo walked to the kitchen and began filling up 2 glasses while Shoto made quick work. He placed his hands on Kaminari's shoulder, causing the two to meet eye to eye.
You need to breathe, okay? Don't focus on them. Focus on your schoolwork. That's what's most important right now.
Shoto calmly told him while the blonde began slightly shaking. He knew Kami was freaking out, and that was the last thing he needed him to do.
I'll take care of the rest.
Denki nodded at that, knowing he could trust his half-and-half bro. Momo came back with 2 full glasses and didn't ask questions. They continued their study session until it was time to leave. While giving Shoto a hug goodbye, she gently pulled him down so she could whisper in his ear.
What's going on?
She whispered. Shoto looked around him and then back at her, making sure Kami was outside the room.
Okay? Talk to Jirou tomorrow. Tell her about Kami. It's not my...
Shoto replied. He gave Momo a kiss and left the room, leaving Yaoyorozu standing in confusion and anger.
What the fuck, Kyoka?
The light was blinding Jirou's pupils as she slowly opened her eyelids. Her blinds were open, which made her get out of bed quickly. She never opened her blinds. Sleep was her 3rd favorite thing, just behind talking to Kami and playing and listening to music. She threw a pair of sweats on and tossed a t-shirt that bared some 1/4 and 1/8 notes. As she made her way to the kitchen, she saw Momo making coffee. Her hair was down, making 2 things unusual this morning.
Did you open my blinds this morning?
Jirou scoffed, making her tone of annoyance pleasantly aware. She immediately began to regret it as Yaoyorozu turned to face Jirou with her arms crossed.
Do me a big favor, Jirou, and stop talking about Kami like you actually care about him.
Momo seethed as she poured her coffee and walked towards the couch. Jirou took a couple of steps back. Momo never got angry, and when she did, it was never ever at her. She slowly made her way to the couch, Yaoyorozu keeping her eyes glued to her book.
Shinso begged me to go to the music room with him to play and catch up. I didn't think Kami would have cared that much.
Jirou said quietly.
Well, from what I saw, he looked like he was going to cry. Have you ever seen him frown, let alone almost cry?
Momo's anger was slowly seeping out.
It's like watching a puppy get kicked.
Fuck, I need to fix this.
Jirou left her room in a hurry, not even giving a care about the baggy clothing she was wearing. She pulled out her phone on the way and began texting.
Hey, I'm coming to your dorm. Get dressed.
Oh, sure. Everything okay?
Just be at the front door.
Got it!
Kami had already been awake. He couldn't sleep at all last night. He poured a glass of milk to ease his headache before hearing a string of knocks. They didn't end, forcing him to sluggishly make his way to the door. Jirou was on the other side, staring at the floor with her hands folded in front of her.
What's up, Jirou?
Kami asked as he opened the door. Jirou looked up to see his eyes sparkle and his smile widen to show his teeth. He probably didn't even know what the problem was, making everything harder for Jirou to explain.
I'm so sorry about yesterday. I shouldn't have ditched you for Shinso. That was so fucking stupid of me. It won't happen again, I promise.
Kyoka could feel the tears building up, and Denki noticed them immediately. He pulled her into a hug, felt a warm stream against his shirt. Jirou didn't make a sound as she cried into the soft cotton, absorbing every tear like a sponge. She felt pathetic. Why was he even holding her like nothing happened?
Shinso.
That name rang in Kami's head before he finally spoke up.
Jirou, you have other friends. You shouldn't have to stress about me.
Kami rubbed her back when she finally looked up at him, her face puffy.
But Momo said something happened yesterday. That you almost cried.
Jirou said through silent sobs. It was true that she had never seen Denki cry. No one had, actually. He was always so bubbly and idiotic. It made it hard to find a reason for him to ever be upset. Denki moved some hair from her face and stroked the top of her head.
Don't worry about that, okay? I'm fine. You're fine. No reason to stress, right? Everything's okay.
He let go of Jirou in fear of making things too obvious. She wiped away the remaining tears and smiled back at him.
If you want to pay me back, just buy me a burger.
Denki joked. Jirou raised a brow and added a sly grin to her face.
Is that how you ask all girls out on a date?
Jirou began to giggle, causing Kaminari to flush and think about his choices. Was he ready for someone else? Was he good enough? Could he finally move on? Kami took a breath and ran his hand through his hair.
Next Sunday, you take me to an old diner that I like,
Kami said, the flush lingering and heating his face as Kyoka began turning back towards the way of her room.
Technically, you'll be taking me, because I'd have no idea where to go.
Jirou retorted, walking down the hall as Kami slowly closed the door. He turned and jumped in surprise to see Shoto perched on the counter like a cat.
Sorry, I was just making some mental notes on flirting.
Todoroki gave Kami a wink and began to fry eggs for the both of them.
Okay, not to be that guy, but has no one questioned why Bakugo wasn't in his dorm the other night? The guy sleeps at like 8 o'clock.
Kachan's sleep schedule is very strict. Even I'm surprised he broke it. What time did you get back to your dorm at King Explosion Murder?
Don't fucking worry about it, okay? I went on a run, that's all.
At King Explosion Murder? You went for a run after curfew? That could have been serious consequences if you were caught.
Kachan doesn't run after dinner. It's in my notes. You're terrible at lying.
At Small Might, I'm gonna come to your room and break your fucking phone!
No. Please, not again. I'm not cleaning up the dorm again, Midoriya.
At Ojifluff. Come to mine and Mina's dorm. We're doing skincare.
At Invisbabe. Ojiro's tail started wagging. I need to write this down. Also, Kachan, you're a bitch.
At Small Might, he's on his way. I'm gonna do skincare if you need me.
At Small Might, I'll bring the taser just in case. At Frosty Flames, we are talking about me, right? At Charged Chew. Yes, Pikachu. Now come help me make popcorn.
Yeah! At Frosty Flames, at Charged Chew. Make extra! I'm bringing gummy bears!
I hate being the dad.
At Ingenium, you think you have it tough?
I propose a girls' night tomorrow. I can bring face masks and hair rollers.
Yes!
Me and Tsuyu will bring snacks.
I like this idea. I have some extra blankets as well.
I'll make a playlist. I've got some good stuff the girls will like.
At your phone, Jack. Jirou dear, the last time you said that, we ended up listening to Seven Nation Army.
That shit is amazing! You just don't appreciate good music is all.
Can we bring Ojiro to this? His tail hasn't stopped wagging since I put his mask on.
At Invisibabe, that kind of breaks the idea of girls' night.
Why don't the boys just have a night where they play video games and talk about cars?
At Tadpole. Considering all the yelling and cheering coming from Deku's room, I doubt he'd want to be a part of that. Even Carrie left to see the action.
Alright, Ojiro can come.
At Mama Momo. Mind if I join you girls then, guy? I need to get away from Monoma and Tetsu's cuddling for one day.
At Cute Ginge. Yes, of course. Please come.
At Cute Ginge! Traitor!
At Copycat, can you just shut the hell up for 5 minutes? That's literally all I've ever wanted. Pure silence.
Can we have a boys' night?
At Charge Chew. Yeah! That sounds awesome!
At Charge-a-Chew sounds super fun. Bro time!
At Charge Chew, we're not having it in our room. At Frosty Flames, here's the thing. Deku's room is destroyed because of him and Bakugo, Sero's room smells of weed, and Bakugo will murder us if we are even 5 feet from his door. Also, Tokoyami's room is off limits because of his pentagram worshipping, and Sato and Kota's room doesn't have a toilet.
My room's free. I got nothing better to do anyways.
Awesome! I'll bring snacks!
I too shall join to ensure minimum chaos.
At King Explosion Murder, you better come with us.
At Red Riot. Oh, fuck that, I got better shit to do.
At King Explosion Murder. I know I'm creating my own grave, but you're a pussy, cause you know you can't beat me at Smash Brothers.
At Flex Tape. You're fucking dead. At Red Riot. Grab my specialty controller. I'm in the gym right now.
Now I'm terrified.
At Flex Tape, as you should be. You will be consumed.
At Eternal Darkness. I don't think Kachan eats people. Although I might have to add that to my notes.
Fuck's sake.
All the A1 girls, along with Ojiro, were in Yaoyorozu's room, setting up some stuff for the night. They had hair curlers, face masks, pedicure and manicure stations, and plenty of snacks. A few of the girls were chatting in the living room with their PJs on, while the others were grabbing bowls and putting the bags of chips and candy in. Ojiro was sitting next to Toru and Mina, while they gossiped over the obvious tension between Midoriya and Bakugo. Those two never seemed to catch a break. As all the girls made their way into the living room and started planning out the night, a knock could be heard at the end of the room. Momo got up to answer it and greeted the orange-haired girl standing in front of her. Ojiro looked up to see where the girls were going. His heart stopped. Itsuka Kendo. He couldn't stop staring at her. Her long orange hair flowing over one shoulder, her turquoise eyes sparkling with every blink, and her smile. Ojiro felt like his body had been thrown in an oven and cranked to the hottest temperature. Toru could see the blush in his face and grabbed his arm. She figured he was super happy and embarrassed to be with her. She's liked Oji since their eyes met. Well, at least since she saw Oji's eyes. Over the year, they had become best friends, always chatting during hero courses and texting most nights. She gave a small tug to his arm, ensuring he would be okay. Ojiro wasn't even thinking about embarrassment though, or even the pressure from Hagakure's grip. He wasn't thinking about Hagakure at all, actually. All he could think about was the girl standing 3 feet away from him, her beautiful lips moving as she... Ojiro slapped himself back to reality when he noticed she was trying to talk to him.
Hey, Ojiro! I didn't think you'd be here.
Kendo giggled. She could see his tail wagging, and her face began to blush slightly. Then she saw Toru's arm around him. Her head dropped and found a spot directly below her to sit.
Shit, he's cute. He's dating Toru, right?
Oh, yeah. The guys kinda trashed mine and Midoriya's room. Well, no. Midoriya trashed our rooms, and I just needed a break from all the guys.
Ojiro chuckled at the fact of having to clean up the dorm room after. He was gonna give Midoriya his...
No bad thoughts. Midoriya's a friend. This wasn't his fault. Blame it on Bakugo. That normally works.
All the girls were now in a circle around the living room. They started with normal chatter, then switched to putting on face masks, followed by pedicures and manicures. Ojiro couldn't stop laughing at his nails, and neither could the other girls.
Why'd you pick white? We have so many different colors.
Mina chirped.
Oh, you know me. Plain and boring is my style.
Ojiro brushed the back of his head, noticing he was true to his word, wearing a white t-shirt and black Adidas pants.
I think plain is the best way to go. Keeps things simple, you know?
Toru chimed in. She had pink, purple, and yellow on her nails. The other girls started laughing, while Toru stared in confusion. Finally, they settled around Momo's 70-inch TV. Jirou didn't get to pick the music, which pissed her off quite a bit, but she was allowed to pick the movie, which ended up being Terminator. All the girls groaned in disbelief, but grabbed popcorn and candy anyways, while Jirou rambled about how the visual effects were stunning for the time and era it was made in. The one thing Ojiro could agree with, he loved movies, especially old ones. The way directors were able to create an image so perfect in their head and display it on a multitude of cameras fascinated him. If being a hero wasn't in his books, maybe he would go into cinematography. The movie started, and all the girls were snuggled up to each other. Jirou was chilling in Yaoyorozu's lap. Tsuyu and Ochako were huddled together, and Mina and Toru were sitting on one side of the couch cuddling, making fun of the movie the whole time. Ojiro was left sitting on the other side of the couch next to Kendo. She patted the seat for him to sit closer to her, which he did without questioning. They were so close together, and Ojiro had to hold his tail in both arms to stop it from wagging. Kendo noticed his jitteriness and took his arms off his tail. She moved closer to him and wrapped his tail around the both of them while placing her arms around his waist.
Can I ask you a question?
She whispered. Ojiro's face turned to her. His cheeks were red with excitement and fear, and he could feel his stomach churn and loosen at the same time.
Sure. Everything okay? You're not uncomfortable, right?
He mumbled. Kendo moved some of her hair out of her face.
Are you and Toru dating?
Ojiro was caught off guard by this, and his tail squeezed her tighter without his permission. Sometimes it had a mind of its own.
No. We're best friends. But I wouldn't take things to the next step in fear of something happening and losing her.
Itsuka smiled and buried her head in his neck, finally melting in his body.
Good,
she replied. Ojiro's face exploded in a mixture of pink and red. He could feel the warmth of her body against his, and the speed of her heartbeat increasing. He looked away from Kendo, who was now focused on the movie, and turned to see Jirou looking at him. She gave him a wink and a smile, making Ojiro relax a little and tighten his tail a little more, sinking into the sweet gingerbread cookie Kendo was to him.
We don't have to go, Denki,
Shoto stated while he put on a t-shirt. They were about to head over to the boys' night, where Shinso had offered his room for all the guys to hang out. Denki had his lightning bolt sweater and a pair of black joggers on. He honestly felt like just relaxing in bed with a warm blanket and his Switch in hand, surveying his beautiful town in Animal Crossing. Kami grabbed 3 Advils and a tall glass of water, downing the pills in one gulp. His headache was still there from Wednesday. He knew why and understood it would be at least a week for him to recover.
Fuck it. Let's just go. I can use the headaches as an excuse if things go south,
Kami replied. They made their way out of the room and took a walk all the way to the other side of the house. Shinso had been moved to Class 1A 3 months ago due to the other kids making fun of him for his quirk. He had his own room, but it was pretty isolated from everyone, probably just the way he liked it. The two met up with Kirishima, Bakugo, and Sero on the way. Bakugo looked pissed and excited at the same time, so normal. Sero, on the other hand, was shaking a little bit, making special care not to drop his Switch. Everyone knew the rivalry between Mixplody Pants and Human Flex Tape when it came to Smash. Sero still holds the title as undefeated champ, but Bakugo has been practicing, buying some new equipment, and preparing. They made it into Shinso's room. Kaminari's stomach tightened. The door was open, and all the other boys were already in there.
Haha! What's up, fuckers?
Bakugo yelled. He made quick work of setting up the switch to the TV. The other boys made conversation with their classmates, while Sero and Katsuki argued over what HDMI cord to plug the console in. Once they had finally finished, the tournament planning was quickly followed. They created a bracket for all the boys and within 5 minutes started the game. The first rounds were pretty simple. Tokoyami won against Shoji with Ganondorf, Koda won against Sato with Isabelle, Kaminari won against Todoroki with Pikachu, Sero demolished Ida with Kirby, and Midoriya won against Shinso with Jigglypuff. The final match was between Kirishima and Bakugo, ending in Bakugo's victory with Snake.
Why the fuck did you pick Little Mac? He's the worst character in the game.
Bakugo questioned the red-haired boy.
He looks so manly! I was sure he was gonna win.
Kiri sighed. The boy set up the next bracket and flew through that. By the end of the third bracket, it was Sero against Kaminari and Bakugo versus Tokoyami. They played their games, resulting in Kaminari's loss and Bakugo's victory. The final match was now upon them. Sero and Bakugo sat next to each other, one sparking rage and fury, the other laughing with excitement. They began their game in a vigorous manner, both losing a stock in the first minute. Then they switched to a more passive playstyle, ensuring small percentages of damage and looking for killing blows. After 5 minutes had passed, the two were on their last stock and were on opposite sides of the stage, calmly waiting for one to approach. Sero made a fast attempt by jumping over a platform and landing on another directly above Bakugo. Bakugo gave a deceiving smile and muttered one word to himself. There. The top platform exploded and sent Sero's wolf off the stage. Bakugo and the other boys exploded in victory and happiness. Kaminari could swear Bakugo was almost crying. The boys shook hands and gave Bakugo his styrofoam champion trophy, which he rightfully bragged about.
Now that the tournament's over, how about we play a real game?
Shinso asked. The other boys looked at him with confusion. To them, that was as real of a game as anything.
Simple, really. Essentially, truth or dare with a twist. We all sit in a circle, and one by one, we spin a bottle. Whoever it lands on, you would ask truth or dare. Just add some randomness to the game instead of targeting someone directly.
The boys agreed to it and sat in a circle.
Oh, and the same question can be asked twice. Only twice, though.
Shinso stated. All the boys agreed and began the game. Tokoyami spun first and landed on Sato. Sato chose truth.
Have you ever messed up on a dessert so bad that you couldn't serve it?
Sato looked down in guilt.
I swear it wasn't my fault. I was using someone else's oven, and it was set way too high. The cake was still edible, just really burnt. I was ashamed.
Koda gave him a pat on the back, while the others laughed, not expecting such a tragic story. The game continued, with the highlights being Kirishima revealing his feelings for Mina, Shoto having to watch Sero eat cold soba in front of him, and Mineta doing the sex offender shuffle. The bottle was given to Mineta, and he spun on Bakugo. The blonde growled at him, making Mineta hide behind Shoji, who swiftly grabbed the annoying grape and placed him directly in front of Katsuki.
Truth? Or dare?
Mineta stumbled out. Ka-chan didn't want to deal with whatever perverted shit he was thinking, so he chose truth. A stupid grin was revealed on Mineta's face, followed by a cheesy, raised eyebrow.
Have you lost your virginity?
Mineta asked. The room was dead quiet. Everyone was terrified of the next words to fall from Bakugo's unhinged jaw.
No. I'm going to give you 10.
Bakugo seethed.
10 what?
Mineta was backing up towards the couch.
9, 8, 7.
The countdown finished with Katsuki chasing Mineta around the room and all the others howling. By the end, The room was covered in grape balls, and Mineta was tied to a chair, overlooking the floor from the ceiling. Bakugo threw the bottle at Shinso while yelling at the mistake God made above. Shinso gave the bottle a spin, landing on Kaminari's spot, except Kami wasn't there. The boys looked around the room, calling for him until finally letting Shinso simply spin again. Todoroki slipped out his phone and began texting Jirou. Jirou looked around the room. All the girls and Ojiro were either focused on the movie or asleep and cuddling. Jirou tapped Momo's leg and she brought her head closer to Jirou's.
Something happened at Shinso's dorm and Denki left. Shoto wants me to check on him.
Jirou whispered. Momo nodded her head and pushed Jirou away from her lap.
Be safe. Make sure my babies are getting along.
Jirou slowly made her way to the door and looked back to see everyone passed out. She gave Yaoyorozu a wink before leaving the room. She made her way down the hall and could hear the laughter from Shinso's room.
They must be enjoying themselves,
Jirou thought. As she made her way down the hall, she pondered why Kami wasn't with them. He was acting strange at the study session from what Momo told her, and now he was missing out on a fun night with all the guys. That's not something Kami would do. He liked being the life of the party, being the idiot everyone could laugh at. He had a gift making others laugh, that was for sure. Just one of the many things that made Jirou fall for him.
Something about the way that you walked into my living room, casually and confident, looking at the mess I am, but still you want me.
Jirou perked her head up and listened for the sound. It was soothing, almost warm to listen to. The voice was familiar, but she never heard it so graceful before. She followed it all the way to the room she was looking for.
Stress lines and cigarettes, politics and deficits, late bills and overages, screaming and hollering, but still you want me.
Kaminari's door was slightly open, leaving Jirou to peek through. Kami was sitting in his couch, guitar in hand, and a bottle of Advil in front of him. His fingers strummed some chords and plucked at certain strings, resulting in a beautiful melody.
Oh, I always let you down. Shattered on the ground, but still I find you there, next to me. And oh, stupid things I do. I'm far from good, it's true, but still I find you next to me.
Jirou leaned closer and closer to the door, eventually opening it all the way and revealing herself completely. Kaminari looked up in surprise.
What are you doing here?
Kami asked. He put his guitar down and gave Jirou a sweet smile.
Oh, I heard the music and followed it here. Why didn't you tell me you played guitar? That was amazing!
Jirou exclaimed.
Thank you. It's my favorite song. And I don't know. I've never felt comfortable playing it in front of people.
Kami shrugged and stared at the floor. Jirou sat on the couch next to him, shifting his guitar away. She put a hand on his shoulder, and her other hand rested on his lap.
You know you can tell me anything, right?
Jirou assured. She could see some sort of pain in Kaminari's eyes, yet she didn't know what it was from. Kaminari didn't respond. He started putting his guitar in the case.
I wish that were true.
He turned around and wrapped his arms around her.
Don't worry, I'm okay.
Jirou closed her eyes and squeezed him in tighter.
Shoto said you left Shinso's room early. You sure you're okay?
Yeah. I've had a headache for the past couple days. I won't fucking leave.
Kaminari reached for the bottle of Advil, only for it to be swiped away by Jirou. Kami tried to grab it from her, but she put it behind her head and huffed out a laugh. The two fought until Jirou had Kami on his back. their lips extremely close to one another's. Kaminari cupped Jirou's face and closed his eyes. As the two came closer, a high-pitched squeal could be heard from just outside the door. Jirou turned her head to see all the girls staring intently at them with their hands covering their mouths. Jirou and Kaminari scrabbled off of each other in heaps of blush, while Momo scolded Jirou and Kaminari. Jirou got up to quickly leave before Kaminari grabbed her hand. He pulled her in for another hug and was greeted by open arms that embraced him completely.
Thank you,
he said. He placed a kiss on her cheek and backed up bearing his obvious smile. Jirou's cheeks were deep red as she stared at the floor before looking back at him with a grin. The girls left the room and Kaminari laid on his bed in disbelief. Shoto came back to see Pikachu curled up in his blankets. He gave a small chuckle and took the Advil bottle away. He checked inside to see only half the pills left. The bottle was new, about a week old.
Next time, just water.
Shoto sighed quietly.
Well, that was a fun night! Is Mineta still on Shinso's ceiling?
That's Small Might. No, I made sure to put him back in his own room. Couldn't stand the sight of a screaming grape.
You did what? At Ingenium? Care to explain?
Don't worry, it was all for a just cause.
Put it this way. Mineta asked Bakugo a question that involved him not having lost his,
Oh shit.
Should I begin the countdown?
At Frosty Flames. What countdown?
1.
Bakugo is really the man behind the slaughter. Nice knowing ya, at Flex Tape.
Help me!
I mean, technically I am his doormate. I should probably barricade something.
At Tentacle. Dude, you have to make a bomb shelter to be safe.
I can't hold him back! Send help!
No one's gonna touch the fact that Bakugo hasn't lost his V card?
Please!
I put Kaminari in my will to have all my weed. Enjoy, bro. I'm gonna miss you.
He's loose! At Flex Tape, how did it feel now, sticky bitch?
Mina, I'm scared.
What's up, Taro? Did something happen in class today?
No, it was from girls' night. I think Kento's gonna steal Oshi from me.
Aggie, don't worry. You and Ojiro have been friends forever. There's no way he'd leave for someone he literally just met.
Did you see them last night, though? They were cuddling.
We were cuddling. Everyone was cuddling.
But they were really cuddling. He looked so happy with her. Why can't I make him happy like that?
You can, Taru. But you just need to make a move now.
What? I can't. I'll ruin our friendship.
Okay, have fun watching your man eating the gingerbread cookie.
Mina! What the fuck?
I'm joking. But seriously, tell him how you feel. I'm positive he was just being nice to Kendo the other night and would immediately date you if you asked him to.
I just don't want to ruin things. What if he says no?
Don't think about that. Just go get your fluff ball.
Okay. What about you and Kiri? Has anything happened since your ice cream apocalypse?
No. But I'm asking him to hang out this week. Probably do something simple.
Well, here's to you and me getting our mans.
Hell yeah!
Last night was pretty fun, huh?
Not to be rude, but this conversation would go a lot easier if I knew the person texting me.
Right. Sorry, it's Kendo.
Oh, that's better.
Is it now?
Yeah. Last night was great. You weren't uncomfortable with us cuddling, right?
I thought it was amazing, hun. You're so fluffy. And warm.
I am glad you're okay with that. If I may ask, why did you want to know if I was dating Toru?
Do you want me to spell it out for you?
Actually, yes. I've been let on multiple times, and I don't want to get hurt. Again.
Oh, fuck. I didn't know that. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have been the way I was at girls' night.
So, you were just acting then? Or were you simply being nice because I was the only boy there? If you're gonna say something, then please say it now.
Ojiro. Actually, can I call you Oji?
Of course.
Okay. I really like you, Oji. I have for a while, but I always had it in my mind you were dating Toru. I saw how playful and sweet she was towards you, and I knew if I tried to get closer, it would only break you two apart. So when I saw her and Mina cuddling on the couch, I figured it would be okay to snuggle with you. And it was like I died in a softer version of heaven. I completely understand if you don't reciprocate these feelings, but now you know. How's that for spelling it out?
Kendo, I really like you too. In fact, I was blushing the entire night because I couldn't stop staring at you. You're beautiful.
Aww! So, what do you think?
If we're gonna try this, we need to take it slow. For my sake.
Of course! How about we go on a mini date? I need to grab some stuff from the grocery store, and Mina was going to ask Kirishima to join. It would be fun. And the company would make things less awkward.
I like that a lot.
Alright! I'll see you tomorrow at the front entrance. Let's say 4 p.m.?
Sounds perfect.
Carrie!
What's up, Mina?
Kendo asked me to go grocery shopping and I want you to come.
Really? Why me? What about Toru?
She's busy lottery tomorrow. Do you not want to come?
I do! I really do want to be with you. Like hang out, of course.
Yay! Okay, we're going after class tomorrow. See you then.
Sounds good. Guess who's got a date? Bakugo?
Midoriya?
Kami?
Shoto?
You fucking idiots.
Those were all very valid guesses. Just saying.
Me! That's amazing! Who's it with?
Deku, how fucking dense can you be?
I'm sorry. Did I ask for your opinion, Kachan?
Fuck you!
Has anyone ever seen Bakugo send the message without the word fuck?
Nope. Nuh-uh.
When is Kachan ever happy? That's the real question.
Fuck all of you!
Love you too, Daddy Baki.
Wow, thought my friends actually cared about me.
Sorry, Kiri. Tell us the details.
Mina asked me to go to the grocery store with her and Kendo tomorrow.
That's your version of a date? Shake my head.
Bro, imagine getting a date. Shake my head.
Imagine having functional emotions. Shake my head.
Anyways, should I tell her?
Yeah, bro. She'd think that'd be super manly.
Go for it, Eijiro. I'm sure she'll reciprocate the same feelings.
Yeah. Worst comes to worst, she denies your ass and we have to deal with your moping.
Bro, what the hell? We all know I'm gonna be the one moping if he gets dumped.
You guys suck sometimes.
What about me?
Good luck, Kirishima. Don't fuck up.
What he said.
He didn't say fuck!
Shoto, Shoto, Shoto. Shoto, Shoto.